Zoom into the occipital lobe. Show light entering the eyes, traveling through the visual pathways and reaching the visual cortex. The cerebrum, cerebellum, and brainstem are the major regions. We can also see the frontal lobe, parietal, temporal, and occipital layers. Zoom into the frontal lobe. It handles planning, decision-making, problem-solving, attention, personality, speech production. The temporal lobes, responsible for processing auditory information, memory, and language.
The brainstem, comprising the midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata, is the vital connection for neural signals controlling automatic functions.
The brainstem connects the brain to the spinal cord. The midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata regulate movement. Sensory input from eyes, ears, and skin travels along peripheral nerves to the brainstem through the thalamus. Sensory stimuli from the eyes, ears, and skin initiate signals along the peripheral nerves. They travel through the spinal cord. Sensory input from the eyes, ears, and skin travels along peripheral nerves and the spinal cord. It moves through the brainstem.
Located at the base of the brainstem consists of the midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata, regulating vital automatic functions.
The cerebrum, frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe, and brainstem.
The cerebral cortex, the thin outer layer covering the cerebrum. Explore its folded surface, gyri and sulci. The human brain is a marvel of interconnected systems. The left and right hemispheres work together seamlessly for complex tasks. The hippocampus is essential for converting short-term memories into long-term storage within the cerebral cortex. The thalamus, a critical hub in the brain. Sensory signals from the body, such as touch and hearing, travel up the spinal cord. Welcome. Observe the brain. Cerebral cortex, frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital lobes. The hypothalamus, situated beneath the thalamus, is crucial for body regulation. It controls temperature, hunger. The motor cortex initiates the signal, which travels down the spinal cord and stimulates the muscles of the hand, causing a controlled movement. The brainstem and hypothalamus regulate automatic body functions. Neural pathways connect to the heart and digestive system. The journey begins with digestion, where glucose is absorbed into the bloodstream. It travels quickly, pumped by the heart. Sound waves enter the ear, vibrating the eardrum and ossicles, generating electrical signals. Those signals travel through the auditory. Light enters the eye, striking the retina, which converts it into electrical signals. The signals travel optic nerves to the opticians. The journey of touch begins with skin receptors detecting contact. Signals travel up the peripheral nerves to the spinal cord. The heart pumps oxygen-rich blood through the carotid and vertebral arteries towards the brain. Zooming in. The blood-brain barrier is formed by tightly packed endothelial cells in capillaries. It allows ascensions. The brain requires a continuous supply of oxygen to function. Oxygen is inhaled into the lungs, where it enters the bloodstream. The human brain is protected by several layers. The skull is the outer casing. Inside, we have thylacine. The brain maintains balance by integrating signals from the eyes, inner ear, and muscles. These signals converge on the sides. At the microscopic level, we see neurons forming connections. Through repeated activity, these connections strengthen. Sensory information enters the cerebral cortex, where neurons begin to process it. The hippocampus coordinates this activity to the cerebrum, cerebellum, and brainstem are the major regions. We can also see the frontal lobe, parietal, temporal, and occipital. The hippocampus is essential for converting short-term memories into long-term storage within the cerebral cortex. Light enters the eye, striking the retina, which converts it into electrical signals. The signals travel optic nerves to the optics. At the microscopic level, we see neurons forming connections. Through repeated activity, these connections strengthen. Colors. The human brain is protected by several layers. The skull is the outer casing. Inside, we have this. The frontal lobe receives sensory information. The premotor cortex and supplementary motor area begin to plan the movement. The brain processes visual, auditory, and tactile information in distinct cortical areas. Deep within the cerebrum, the basal ganglia play a vital role. The caudate, putamen, and the pons, the central relay point and regulator of vital functions between brain and body. The medulla oblongata, located in the lower brainstem, controls essential automatic functions. Sensory signals from vision, hearing, and touch converge in the brain's association areas. These networks enable recognition. The sensory receptor detects a sudden stimulus. The signal travels through the sensory nerve to the spinal once occurs. Welcome to a detailed look at the visual system. Light enters the eye and hits the retina. Signals travel up the optic. Sensory input from eyes, ears, and skin travels along peripheral nerves to the brainstem through the thalamus. The brainstem is crucial.
Cranial nerves emerge and connect to muscles.
Sensory signals flow in, motor signals flow out. Let's explore the ventricular system within the brain. The paired lateral ventricles lead to the third ventricle. Welcome! Today we explore the frontal lobe. The prefrontal cortex processes information, then plans and makes decisions. Touch information travels from the body, along sensory pathways, to the primary somatosensory cortex. Cerebrospinal fluid circulates through the lateral ventricles, down the third and fourth ventricles, cushioning and supporting the brain and spinal cord.